Looks like we're live. Okay. As we work through a little bit of logic. Thanks.
Once again, behind the curve here.
So, yeah, welcome back.
All right. Well,
here we go. Best of 3. Can we get the reverse sweep coming in?
That's what I want, man. That's what I want.
More games.
How about we get some predictions here? Who do you think's gonna win game 2?
Good question. So Wheelie and this dumb guy who came out of nowhere totally popped off, and they didn't even need any jungle presence. But in terms of like jungle presence, I would say Dragon Soul or Bust generally did a better job. As we mentioned before, Amumu was like 0-0 in the first 15 minutes of the game, while Tristana is just randomly getting kills everywhere in the in lane, just 2v2. So I'm gonna throw out a prediction for Dragon Soul or Bust. I think that you can't win, like that isn't gonna work every time. You need jungle presence once these teams, as they sort of warm up and get used to this sort of the pressure of competition. I think that jungle presence is going to come back to bite. The lack of jungle presence is going to come back to bite TSS. And I think Dragon Soul or Bust is going to take this one, take us to a game 3.
Yeah, I also think we're gonna go through to a game 3 because we saw in the last half of that earlier game that they were starting to wake up. They were starting to get those clean team fights off, and if they weren't 10k gold behind, I definitely feel like they win some of those team fights. So I definitely think that now that they're all warmed up, ready to go, I think they do have a better shot at taking a game off.
I'm inclined to, I'd agree that they do have a better shot, but I would disagree. I think this one's going to go to Team Solo Simp for the simple reason of it seemed like specifically in mid lane and bot lane, Team Solo Simp seemed to have Dragon Soul or Bust's number throughout the whole game. It seemed like individually, Wheelie on the Zoe was consistently mechanically outplaying the Ahri. With the one exception of the really nice flash on the Amumu mid lane. But other than that, it seemed like just mechanically in a vacuum, bot lane and mid lane seemed to be winning by themselves without almost any jungler interference for Team Solo Simp. So I'm hesitant. I do agree that Dragon Soul or Bust was doing a good job coming back in the game. They were making some innovative plays, but that being said, I don't see a world where you can like overcome that large of a mechanical difference in the mid and bot lane.
All right, you're saying that if you win your lane, you win the game?
Well, actually, there's something to note here. It looks like Dragon Soul or Bust has gotten Stiffy back into the jungle, subbing him back in.
Here we go.
And Heartstopper is on his main role now, so he'll be taking over that mid lane.
That's actually a big development. So, Heartstopper did a nice job in the jungle, and honestly, I've got to say, like we said, Dayblazer did have a couple of nice plays on that Ahri, but Heartstopper is a mid main, and he was our player to watch. He is a strong mechanical mid laner, highly ranked among these players, and so yeah, that's a good point. I can't take back my prediction. Scout's honor. I'm sticking to it, but yeah, that definitely is going to make a difference as we see the Sejuani Xayah come in for the red side picks, and the Sett did come in, as we said. That's a very strong champion there, and the Amumu comes in again, which is clearly a comfort pick, to say the least, for Hypoconic.
He's not picking Teemo.
No way, man.
There's no way he picks Teemo.
This would be a blind pick, and Sett's already picked, so it wouldn't go to the top lane. So yeah, no way. No way. 6 seconds. Wheelie, don't do this to us.
Or please, Wheelie, do this to us.
Do it to us, Wheelie. So that Tristana does come in. And so that is going to be the Xayah-Tristana matchup. So the Xayah actually was banned out after we had that draft reset. They banned the Xayah having seen it picked. Now this time they let it through, and that's going to be the Xayah going down. And Mundo just locked in.
Wow,
Dr. Mundo.
that's a bold choice into a Sett that deals damage based on the enemy's max HP. Let's see if that comes to bite them back in the rear. But I do like what they're trying to do. They're trying to build a team around Samson in the bot lane, very front to back lane. I'm surprised they didn't go with the Rakan here.
Yeah, we're seeing again potentially just like my guess is Modelbrony doesn't feel confident on that Rakan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's just so good. Like you got to learn it, man. Your ADC wants to play Xayah. You got to learn Rakan. But be that as it may, the ban's coming in. Lux comes through as a ban. That's an interesting one. I wonder what they might be going towards in the mid lane, banning out that Lux.
It's interesting. Team Solo Simp has like the same bans.
Yeah,
and Dragon Soul Reborn almost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Just
almost
no
exactly
adaptation.
the same. And there's the Taric ban, which is understandable.
Except for that one. Here
that's
we go.
That's yeah.
Yeah. So Team Solo Simps, I think they're trying to target ban Heartstopper here, and that's why that Katarina Vel'Koz ban have come in every time. And that's just an advantage given over, as long as Heartstopper is comfortable on another champion, that's just another advantage given over to Dragon Soul or Bust. Because it just forces them to ban those things out and not ban based on what they want their team comp to be, rather just ban based on what they're scared of. Which I think is a big point to bring up. If you're forcing target bans, you already have an advantage as long as your champion pool is big enough. As the Braum comes in.
Well, I gotta say I love the Braum pick. They Dragon Soul Reborn has the hardest, I want to say like almost classical team comp that I've ever seen. They have a tanky support protecting their AD carry who is very easy at staying safe, and then they have two humongous front lines. All they really need now is a high damage mid laner to come out, and they have a scary team comp on their hands.
Yeah, and once again they get that jungle priority with Sejuani.
Wes?
Oh, am I gone?
Oh, you're back.
You're back.
Oh, okay, all good. Thank you for. So anyway, I was saying the Sejuani I really still think has the advantage in that jungle matchup, and so the fact that they've built this huge team composition that is like designed for this late game meatball to protect the Xayah. And speaking of high damage mid laners, it's Diana. That's Diana Hubbard.
That's assuming that gets locked in. That's about as high damage as you can get.
Yeah. And it does get locked in. So that's going to be against the Ryze, and Ryze very good late game. I would say scales up a little better than Diana, but Diana's so powerful in the laning phase, so good at roaming. It's just a really strong situation that Dragon Soul or Bust has designed for themselves.
I gotta say, I like the Dragon Soul or Bust team comp a lot more this game. It seems like last game they drafted a disengage comp, then proceeded to only engage, but this time they got like a very standard team comp, and more importantly, both teams have a very strong bot lane. All four of those champions are at some of their best in the early game. They're going for blood this time. They're not getting pushed over without a fight.
Yeah, and the key thing is, as you say, they are strong in the. Both Xayah and Tristana can be considered late game hyper carries if they get to the right point. They're doing lots of damage in the late game. Ryze on that same track. So, this is like, these are just strong champions locking horns here, and I'm excited to see what happens in this game. This is going to be some crazy team fights, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that Dragon Soul or Bust have. I think actually both of these teams have crazy team fights.
Yeah.
And one thing to note is that Ryze is one of those champions that can damage carries by hitting frontline still with that E. So I want to see how Wheelie is able to play in these team fights, because if he's able to get damage off on the backline without putting himself in danger, then I think he could just take over the game.
Yeah, in the very, very late game, if they stall this out past, 25, 30 minutes, I really do think that TSS is going to start getting the advantage here because of those that Tristana, as we said, her range increases as the game goes on, or a little bit more range, or every few levels, and the Ryze also scales almost infinitely into the late game. So that's just it's a crazy late game team comp with the Amumu and the Sett for crowd control. So I really like that.
Feel that if Team Solo Simp are able to get Diana behind early on, that she won't be able to do as much later on, because she'll be so far behind that if she tries to engage with that E, with that R, she's gonna get blown up.
Yeah.
By the Ryze, by
Mm-hmm.
the Tristana, and get locked down as soon as she tries anything. So I
Mhm.
think early on it's going to be very important if Hypoconic can get those ganks in the mid lane. I would actually like to see the Amumu start blue, even if he's on blue side.
Sure.
You don't get the second champion there to leash for you, so it's going to be slightly slower, but Amumu's very mana hungry, for one, but most importantly, if you clear on the same side of the jungle, you'll be able to hit 3. Like, for example, if you were to cross over buff and then a camp, instead of buff camp on the same side of the jungle, then you'll hit level 2 instead of that level 3 power spike. So what they can do is, on the blue side, is start top side rather. And not only do you get the blue buff on the Amumu early, but you're also going to allow Amumu to clear the top side of the jungle to get that experience to be able to hit level 3 and immediately affect the top side of the map, which is very important. If Sett falls behind, if Diana falls behind, then it could mean trouble for both of these teams, right?
Yeah.
So I think if Amumu is able to start top side rather than bottom side, even with the slower leash due to having one less champion there, I think that being able to hit level 3 on the top side of the map is going to be very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the same thing for the other side, where Sejuani needs to get that synergy with. She's not going to want to focus so much on top lane. A fed Mundo is great, but it's not going to win you the game. Sejuani and Diana need to be together on this game. They need to be roaming together. They need to be designing those ganks to get gold on Diana so that she can get priority in that lane. Because if Diana can be roaming to the bot lane, if Diana can be invading that jungle against Amumu, it's just so hard to deal with if she gets fed. And so to me, that's exactly what Heartstopper has to do, is get fed, get his team rolling.
Yeah, I do want to say I want both junglers to do the classic and just abandon top lane completely. Mid lane matchup is incredibly important to the outcome of this game, and maybe even more so is the bottom lane matchup. Top lane doesn't matter all that much. Mundo is still gonna be unkillable, and Sett is still gonna probably kill half the team regardless of what you do to top lane. It's the bot lane and the mid lane that really matter in this match. If Diana gets ahead, Ryze can't do anything. If Ryze gets ahead, Diana can't do anything. If Xayah and Braum get ahead, Tristana Nautilus can't do anything. If Tristana Nautilus get ahead, Xayah Braum can't do anything. It is incredibly volatile. First blood in this game, more than almost any other, is very likely, depending on where it goes, going to decide how the rest of the mid game and even into the late game go.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like we said before, Heartstopper on a different role than he was last game. So he is going to be, we're going to see if he lives up to what we built him up to be as that star player of Dragon Soul or Bust. He really needs to step up on this Diana that is picked to change the course of this game. So like you say, very volatile matchups in both mid and bottom. And very strong supports early game, as you said as well, to get those lanes rolling. So once again, no surprises here. Aftershock on both junglers, Grasp on Mundo, Phase Rush on Ryze. Standard runes, standard lanes. We will see what happens here. I like the Sejuani early game. A lot of she can surprise you with the amount of damage. And Amumu is starting on that red buff, so he's going to do the full clear. He's going to go red, 2 Krugs, and then he's going to do all the camps. So pretty safe start as long as Sejuani doesn't invade. But then once he does all those, gets to level 4, most likely he either goes to one of the Scuttle Crabs, or he just goes back for his jungle item. So going with a safe path, which is the same thing he did last time. Spent a little time in bot lane, but it's like we said before, Amumu, you want to get to level 6, so that makes some amount of sense too.
I do want to put a little bit of focus on the nice sidestep by Samson, dodging that auto clear. That was certainly death if he didn't sidestep that. But
yep, or a flash at least. Yep.
Yeah. So I want to put a little bit of focus on the TP from the Ryze. That's kind of interesting. Last game, Wheelie did take the ignite on the Zoe versus the Ahri. So I guess this time he's deciding that he maybe wants to make a few more plays around the map, but that does lead him open, especially against someone as mechanically good as Heartstopper, to kind of being taken out early.
Yeah. The teleport really good on Ryze, obviously. Gives him so much mobility. It stacks on with that ultimate where he can just get around the map so quickly. But Diana, who was going to have a lane advantage, Nautilus steps up, gets stunned for his troubles. There's a slow from Braum, but looks like it's not going to happen. And Stiffy comes up with the Sejuani. There's Hypoconic. The burn is going down on Stiffy. They're both burning down. jasonsensationz is going to get... Blitzblade has flash. He does. He flashes it and gets the one auto attack, but that is going to be all. And that is the first blood down onto the Sejuani. And that Sett W spell really doing work there. It is just so powerful if you land the true damage and if you get that shield, and he certainly does. So both flashes blown there. That's the Mundo teleporting back to lane. And Blitzblade's now quite low, but he's a level ahead. And here comes Hypoconic again to make more damage happen. The shield comes down. Hypoconic just waiting for the sure thing. He goes. The burn takes him down.
That's so bad for Dragon Soul or Bust. Now the Mundo not only blew his TP, but barely survived the first time. But that's 2 kills over in the span of 4 minutes, and both kills, granted, are on the Amumu, and no one's saying the Amumu is going to snowball the game, but the TP advantage and the CS advantage are really going to matter. There's a 15 CS advantage. There's almost double the CS here as well as a TP advantage. That gives Blitzblade a huge opportunity to TP around the map and change the outcome of these other fights in other lanes.
Oh yeah, that is so much. And as you say, the Amumu isn't going to snowball out of control. But getting that early gold, that early jungle item, you're a threat for a very early dragon that gets stunned up again in the top lane. But it was like you said, Kang, that is the presence from the Amumu in the early game. And I had my doubts, but he proved me wrong. He goes into that top lane twice in a row, just takes advantage of that flash being blown, and gets that Sett so far ahead in this lane, as you said, with the lane pushing advantage, the CS advantage. Mundo has been able to make it up more or less, but still, look at those items on Sett. That's 2 long swords, the rejuvenation bead, the boots, compared to just the ruby crystal bought past the opening item on Mundo. So it's just going to be so hard for Mundo, no matter how tanky he is. Heartstopper has been pushed off this wave. He is still ahead in farm, but that's a lot of damage down on him, and Amumu is waiting in the wings here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for a dive mid lane. But backing up instead. Deciding against it. Deciding that maybe the level 6 Diana isn't the best person to dive, which, I can't fault you for that.
Yeah, and he did have full still, but as you say, Diana low, and but just not quite juicy enough apparently as Diana does maintain that farm. Ryze now moving a little bit ahead. And like I said, Amumu, with that early strength, with that early tankiness and the early jungle item, is going to go for Dragon, and there's not much the Dragon Solar Bust bot lane can do about this. That Dragon's going to go down without a fight, no problem at all.
Early Fire Drake is definitely going to help out, especially for champions like the Tristana, like the Ryze, like the Sett that naturally build a lot of AD or AP. Just the 4% early game doesn't sound like a lot, but as soon as you hit, or when you hit about like 20-30 minutes, that's when it starts doing like 100 more damage on certain abilities. It's not as insignificant as it might seem.
Yeah, exactly. And we do talk about how in this version of the dragons, individual dragons aren't nearly as strong as they used to be, but that doesn't mean they don't do anything. It really does matter, especially to get something early like an Infernal or an Ocean. It really matters in lane for those little fights, especially if you have played this champion a lot. You kind of know what the power spikes are, you know what the limits are, and those just push those numbers a little bit, and it can result in huge differences in fights. Now we do see Sejuani still hasn't been able to make much of a difference in lane. Did go up to try for that gank in the top lane, but only got a death onto the scoreboard for his troubles. As we see the bot lane of Dragon Solar, bot lane of iDumDum and VirtualBoxes going in for that blue, but it looks like they were just going in there to put down his vision as Heartstopper.
Nope.
Really going in.
Burned his flash. No other summoner spells.
Yeah, not gonna. Oh, and Sejuani does, or was that was Diana having to flash there actually? So that is flash for flash. Diana gets priority in the lane, but nicely played by Wheelie just to get away from that gank.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually a really big deal. Diana with flash is a whole other different monster than Diana without flash. Diana's ult working, for those of you that don't know, the first cast of her ultimate, when it pulls everyone in, if she hits 4 champions, the second hit, where it does the damage, the second hit will depend on how many champions she hit with the first hit. So even if she hits 4 people, then flashes on top of 1 person, it's still gonna do the damage of the 4 people to that 1 person. So without the flash, she becomes a lot less of a threat to a backline. Which is going to be pretty relevant if they're going to, continue to try to make plays.
I did not know that. That's really great insight. Yeah, her flash definitely super valuable in that case. Yeah. So Ryze is maintaining does get that pushed in. He does push really fast, even at these early stages, and he's got that Tear of the Goddess and Lost Chapter already, working towards that Archangel Staff. And we do see generally pretty even farm across the board. You see us in the lead here, a few there, but nothing too crazy, even with the early leads that have been gained by Team Solo Simps here in lane.
There you go, and they do spot the Sejuani crossing over mid lane, so they do back off on that bot side there.
Yeah, Sejuani hasn't been able to get really anything done in this game at all. Staying even in farm with the Amumu, but with those 2 kills, if they run into each other in the jungle, I'm betting on Amumu.
With a 2 kill lead and the Bomby Cinder in your pocket, Amumu does a lot of damage. Amumu's auto's lowering the MR plus the magic damage from the Bomby Cinder. You don't expect it to, but the little midget hitting you with its head kind of hurts.
Exactly, and it's very annoying.
Yeah.
But there you go, Sejuani coming in, looking for a gank.
Yeah, Wheelie out of position here, gets taken down, gets stunned up, and Stiffy is going to give the kill to Heartstopper, so it's a really nice combo there. That's what we were looking for, that synergy, as a lot of damage going onto jasonsensationz. He's going to heal that right back up. But a nice gank there, and Stiffy on the Sejuani does manage to make something happen, along with that Diana.
This was something I criticized Dragon Solar Bust for doing last game, is they blew the flash on the mid laner, then didn't come for a repeat gank, so it's really good to see Stiffy being able to come back against the flashless Ryze. There's effectively nothing the Ryze can do in that scenario, and very easily a kill on Heartstopper on the Diana is going to be huge, especially with the Dragon coming up soon.
Yeah, you can see vision cleared out from the bots into that bottom slip into that bottom brush without any real issues there, and catch the Ryze by surprise. Sorry for the rhyme again. And yeah, so we are just waiting to see who can secure vision around this dragon. The Scuttle Crab gonna come up in a little while, but that's a Mountain Drake, so we only have Ocean and Cloud Soul left on the table. We all hope for Ocean, as it is such a strong power spike.
Mountain Soul on Mundo, Sejuani, Braum is gonna be, and even the Diana for that extra tankiness is gonna be huge. So I'm expecting this dragon to be very contested.
Both TPs for the top laners are up, but it looks like right now Dragon Soul Reborn is going to take it.
Heartstopper.
Yeah, really.
Here comes the TP from the top lane.
Wheelie coming in, gets ulted, and Wheelie has done a lot of damage to the entire red side team. Modelbrony goes down. Heartstopper trying to do damage in the back. Also gets taken down. That's a double kill for the Tristana. 4 for 1 so far in this fight, and they do manage to catch out the Mundo as well. Has to flash over, and huge engage from Hypoconic and from the side of of Team Solo Simps there. That's a really nice turnaround for them.
That fight, more than any other fight so far, confuses the heck out of me, because if you look bot side, if you look around Dragon Solar Bust has the vision. They knew where everyone was coming from. They shouldn't have been grouped up like that for the Amumu engage to be womboed like that. But I guess looking more at the Dragon and less at the map, and that's gonna lead for both a Dragon and a Rift Herald for Team Solo Simp.
Yeah, they get both objectives off of that fight, and man, that is just. It's as you say, they had the vision. It looked like what they wanted to do was just get the dragon and get out of there, but they didn't have the time to do it. They didn't have the damage to put down, and huge fight there. That Team Solo Simps is just
sources coming in telling me that Sett actually ults Diana out of the fight to mitigate the damage that the Diana ult would have done in the team fight. So I think MVP has to go to the Sett here.
Yeah, that is a really nice play by Sett, by the Blitzblade there, and you're really looking for that team fight. Wheelie does ult in, and the flash comes in on Xayah. They're gonna take him down.
Doesn't have ulti, yeah.
And yeah, that's a nice ult by Ryze. It looked like they were going to get away, but then the flash comes in from Wheelie and takes down that AD carry. So that is 10 seconds left on his death timer. They are going to pressure this top turret.
It's really bad overextension by Samson. You can't be playing that route. I do understand the Ryze ult was there, but you can't be playing in a position where you might get caught while playing Xayah when you don't have your ultimate up. Your ultimate is a huge get out of jail free card. If you're caught with your ultimate down, you're effectively dead in almost every scenario. Braum there or not, it's not looking good for you.
Yeah, and flash down as well. He used them both in that dragon fight, so that was just an overextension by him. Nice play by Wheelie to take advantage of that, and that is going to be Team Solo Simps getting that first turret. So nice play by them on there. jasonsensationz answering down with the Mundo in the bot lane. He's going to get the solo gold for that, most likely.
They're looking at mid lane now, but they're, I guess, refusing to dive, which is smart. This has been the continual story of Team Solo Simp throughout this. They are not engaging on fights that they think they might lose. They're out macroing Dragon Solar Bust continually, and then just taking the small objectives. And whenever they see a fight, they're saying, "Hey, we will win. or whenever Dragon Solar Bus is looking for a fight that doesn't turn out well, Team Solo Simp is on it right away. They see the bad fight, they take it, but otherwise they're just backing up, playing it slow and methodical.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice rotations, as we said, by Team Solo Simps, and obviously the Ryze with teleport and with ultimate, though I'm not sure, he used the teleport once to get back to lane, has only had to use his ult in terms of rotations around the map to make things happen, so they have already taken down that first turret, traded down by the Mundo. As we look at the items, we do see Ryze having that Archangel Staff completed, Tristana having the Infinity Edge completed on 2 and 0 there. And the hook comes down on Braum. Is he caught out here? They're not interested in front-loading all their damage onto the support. And so Ryze they do let them back off.
Does have teleport, so he can join in on any engage that Dragon Solar Bus try to pull off.
Yeah, so Dragon Solar Bust pushing in 3 different lanes right now, 1-3-1, which is a very nice idea, and they are getting 2 turrets at once here, really nice, and as you say, continuing to out-macro TSS here. I misspoke, I mean TSS is out-macroing Dragon Soul.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do get that bottom turret for their troubles, so they are setting up around this dragon, which is coming up soon. And yeah, they
looking
Dragon
really,
Solar Bus just hanging around in the jungle right now.
Yeah, looking really promising for Team Solo Simp. They have the outer tier bot lane, both towers top lane with Dragon coming up. Top lane looks to be pushing it in as well, so they're good. Dragon Solar Bus is going to either be losing a lot of farm if they don't rush this, but it looks like they're choosing to rush this right away. There isn't any vision by Team Solo Simp just yet.
Yeah, Team Solo Simps was not ready for that at all. They just let it go.
Yeah,
Which,
really?
the flash in from Hypoconic. Here comes the engage. Catching this is one so far. The Sett comes in with the suplex, takes him down. A lot of damage has gone down on. Does manage to get out. Hypoconic already taking a lot of damage, gets shut down, but takes down the Xayah as well, and that is another 4-for-1 fight out of Dragon Soul, out of Team Solo Simps. Really beautiful fight there. Nice engage by the Amumu. The Sejuani being in the front line just didn't matter. They took them down so fast, not having to use their big cooldowns. The ultimate only had to go down onto the tanks, and Team Solo Simps just takes them down.
Yeah, and again, with these counter picks, Diana being unable to pull off a multi-man R with the Tristana R on her. Okay, that's a lot of R's. But Tristana knocking her out of the team, and Diana being unable to get the damage off on that ultimate.
Yeah, that Buster shot really very effective against the Diana, and as you said, her not being able to flash in with Team TSS positioning really well in that fight. Just the perfect front-to-back composition. The perfect front-to-back positioning, and just able to protect their carries, able to continue to get the damage down on. You did see a lot of damage go down into those carries, but because of the advantages they've gotten in lane, it just wasn't quite enough to take down Wheelie, not quite enough to take down Dum Dum, and TSS does come away with the teamfight win there.
I want to say that was some great game knowledge and intuition by TSS. Normally when you get a Amumu ult, you're not looking to hit the Sejuani Mundo only with the ults, but just because you have the Sett on your team, that is not only a good play, but almost an optimal play. With the Sejuani Sett being locked up, the rest of Dragon Solar Bus weren't able to run away in time, and the Sett came in and just dunked on the rest of the team with a huge amount of bonus HP. It was just a very smart play heads up. Wouldn't have worked in most other team comps, but with a Sett on your team, you can definitely go for some of the more riskier engages on the front line.
Yeah, some really nice preparation coming out of TSS. I really like that adaptation, and as we said, the Sett just such a powerful champion in team. and you saw it there, just that huge suplex. It also just looks so cool, and that's gotta raise your spirits. You know what I mean? So,
I do have to question though, a lot of red wards, control wards, on the Dragon Pit with Baron up, and I don't think that they're even gonna try for the Baron. They don't have the vision control. All of their vision is on the opposite side of the map, even though they've already taken the dragon.
That is the one thing that that is a silver lining for a Dragon Soul or Bust out of the out of that play, as Wheelie does get caught. Oh, the ultimate
flash.
Wheelie goes for the ultimate. There's no crowd control available. He does get out clean, and the Sejuani misses that ult. Meanwhile, here is the rest of TSS doing this Baron, and Dragon Soul or Bust rushing down. Will they be able to get here in time? There's a lot of damage, 2,000 health left. They're not going to get it. It's blue team getting the dragon, and really nice play. Ryze able to put down such a nice distraction, drawing the entire team over, while the rest of his team is taking that objective.
Yeah, Baron going over to Team Solo Simp. They have a lot of wave clear with the Ryze, with the Tristana. They'll be able to push these lanes in very quickly and set up a siege right up into the enemy base.
Yeah, and
Can I just say, what an amazing play by Wheelie. He went bot lane, put enough pressure that he got 4 players of Dragon Soul or Bust to come bot lane, and even while his team was securing Baron, his only job was to get that pressure. Not only did he not die, he also blew Sejuani ult as well as the rest of their time, and secured Baron for his team, and all he had to burn was his flash ult. That is such a worth play by Wheelie, completely outplaying Dragon Soul or Bust.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he didn't have to survive that, and it still would have been worth it.
Exactly.
And he survives, only blows his flash, blows an ultimate. Yeah, really, really beautiful play so far this game.
Play.
And now you see he's got his tier fully stacked up, he's got his morale, he's working on the death cap. This Ryze is about to become a huge threat.
Here, again with these wards, all of Dragon Soul or Bust's vision is on the top side of the map when the next objective is the dragon. So, huge question mark play on that one.
Yeah, here comes an ultimate. Wheelie may have been caught out this time. He does take down Deck, but he goes down as well. Dum Dum coming in. Here comes the cavalry from TSS. Dum Dum goes down, but he is able to get that out. And ace for TSS.
Yeah.
Beautifully done by TSS. It was a good idea to try to catch Wheelie out there, and Heartstopper did do a lot of damage, but they are just too far behind, and it is just too much of a lead for TSS.
Actually.
Yeah, it might be that he is able to end the game here. Those death timers still pretty high on some of the members. Mundo not coming up for a little while. Sejuani not coming up. Braum have the 2 carries up.
He does have TP. He can TP in upon respawn.
The TP comes in. Here we go. And VirtualBoxes takes a lot of damage. They're going back in. Hypoconic goes back in, gets the stun down. Health bars are pretty low, but they're going for the Nexus. Now the damage comes down onto Mundo. Heartstopper tries to... Stopwatch goes down. It's so close. Heartstopper goes down, and the rest of the team has been destroyed. TSS take the series 2-0.
What an exciting game from the prospect of TSS. They played that incredibly well throughout the whole game. At every point, they were out macroing them, out mechanically playing them. It wasn't even close for the vast majority of that game.
We saw a bit of signs of life from Dragon Soul or Bust in the first game, but in that game, it was just TSS all the way, baby. Wheelie just making such great use of that Ryze mobility, of that Ryze late game damage, and once again, Dum Dum going on the Tristana. Other teams in this league watching this game are going to have to think about banning that champion. He really is able to constantly free hit. But the entire team, as you said, of TSS really working together nicely as a team. really working together, really able to get those team fights to work, which they designed their team comp for, knowledge of their champions, really impressive from TSS.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, there was Dragon Soul Bust. I do like that they were trying to make plays at the end, but you can't force a fight when you're so far behind. Forcing a fight is one of the last things you want to do. You have to either get picks with that team comp, or otherwise you're just going to get rolled, like what we saw in the end fight there. They tried too hard. They went too hard onto Wheelie on the Ryze. Yeah, they got him, but that also meant that they used Sej ult for him. They used Mundo ult just trying to chase up to him. They used like 3 different ults, barely got him, and then were in such a bad position as the rest of Team Solo Simp came in there and just obliterated them.
And now, am I hearing right that we're going to get a player interview here?
Yes.
I am getting some messages.
We are getting Wheelie.
All
in
right.
here for a post-game interview.
Definitely the person who I would call the MVP of this series. So really excited to talk to this guy.
For sure. You saw there in the second game especially. In the first game, he played on par with the rest of them. On the second game, though. Hi,
Wheelie, hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. So glad to be here.
Nice. Congratulations, man. Really great job. We're definitely talking about how you are definitely the MVP of this series for us.
Nice, sweet. That's great to hear. My ADC was definitely not the MVP.
Oh, why do you say that, man? You played pretty good.
My scores were definitely much bigger and better. I had all the side lane pressure. What can I say?
I see what you're getting at. Tristana definitely very strong as well. Hey man, how's the first game treating you? You're the inaugural stream. Did you feel the pressure from being on stream, or was it just a regular game for you?
I don't know if it was the stream, but I mean, like, you always feel a little bit nervous when playing in, I guess, quote unquote tournament games, right? Like,
right.
There's always a bit of nerves coming in, but I don't know. It was cool. It was cool to be featured.
Yeah, man, and really exciting play out of you. So have you prepared against this team? Have you scrimmed against them at all? Did you know what you were getting coming into this match?
Not this team specifically. I don't think we scrimmed. I think 2 teams, but I think they were both from Premier actually.
Okay, and how did those scrims go?
Well, I don't want to talk about one of them because it was well, not the best.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
There's a reason they're Premier.
Got it.
Maybe we did only play the one. I don't remember, to be honest.
Sure. Well, anyway, so you've been preparing with this team. Can you tell me kind of how your team came together? What your history is playing with each other, and how you sort of got into this league?
Right. So our sub, I Dum Dum, is actually my brother.
Okay.
So, so that's where that is. That's where he came from, and the rest, I went to school with most of them, and then the support is just a mutual friend of one of. We have a mutual friend.
Nice. You all from Winnipeg?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Some homegrown
Winnipeg,
talent.
Boston, the local talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys, if you have any questions about Wheelie's stellar gameplay there, let you guys jump in.
I gotta ask, are you named Wheelie because you're on one wheel and you're used to being the one-man army on your team at all times?
Yeah, let's go with that. I like that.
All right, sure.
You got it, first try.
I kind of just took it's I don't know, it's an epic gamer name, what can I say?
That's fair.
It's your boy Wheelie 29.
Nice.
It is your boy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna call an audible and go to Twitch chat.
Sure.
We got Wheelie 29 in here. Twitch chat, throw out some questions.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear from Wheelie 29?
Yeah.
Somebody is flaming my choice of you as the MVP, but in that second game, I think you really made the difference. So
yeah.
That first game was interesting too.
Yeah, we saw you had to play against two different people in this series. How was that? How was playing against Heartstopper compared to Daybreaker?
I don't know. It was definitely different for sure. Like, I could tell because there was I guess he was having connection issues, right? So they had to put their sub in. So
Yes.
it seemed like game one it was maybe an off roll. I don't know. But I think not to be rude or anything, but I think Heartstopper was definitely a little bit more experienced playing mid.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he is their main mid laner, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even a mid lane main anyways. Like
No,
we
dang.
we had to use our sub as well. And so our sub
Right.
took the bot lane. So I kind of just slotted in.
There you go. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys did pretty good with the sub. From the chat, I'm going to go with this one first. What is the inspiration for your team name?
What is it? I don't know. It's pretty straightforward. We were, it kind of just came up to us. We were thinking of, some team solo
Right.
teams. And I don't know. It's simping right now is pretty meta, right? So
There you go. Yeah, it's topical. Yep.
Yes. So I don't know. It kind of just it fit, and it kind of rolls off the tongue,
So, we have one more question from chat. What was the hardest call of the game? What do you feel was the turning point, and when did you have to make a real big decision in this second match?
Oh, in the second match. Oh man. I don't know. I think there was the one dragon that we gave up. Where we took the mid lane tower. I think there wasn't a miscommunication, but I think we probably could have played that a little bit differently. But we'll see. Maybe my team doesn't see that, but I think
who calls the shots in your team? Is it sort of a collective thing, or has somebody sort of got that role?
No, I got to give the shout out to our support.
Oh, really?
Nice. Yeah.
He's very good at that kind of stuff.
VirtualBox.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We really enjoyed the macro in that game, so definitely have to keep an eye on VirtualBox for that shot calling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want to ask what was going through your head when you made that incredible play bot lane as the Ryze, not only getting all 5 of their attentions, but also escaping, dodging the Sejuani ult with the flash over the wall. Were you calm and steady through that whole thing, or were you freaking out the whole time?
A little bit of both. I mean, it was kind of nerve-wracking to see the Sejuani Diana pull up on me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And definitely the flash definitely planned on the Sejuani ult. That's all I can say. Definitely, that was definitely the play I was going for.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We were so hyped about that play because we're like, he could have died there and his team still gets Baron. It's still a win, but he blows the ult and survives. Like, come on.
Yeah, it kind of just snowballs because as Ryze, especially with Baron, you don't even have to do anything. You just sit in the side lane and sit back far enough and let the supers do stuff. And especially into the Mundo, I had the Morello, so I kind of melted him, so he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah. Those huge tanks taking so much.
So yeah,
damage.
just getting the Baron on top of me living was huge.
Yeah, definitely, and that was the play that sort of spiraled into the end of the game. Mm-hmm. One more question for you before we let you go.
For sure.
So you mentioned you haven't done any scrimming, really don't know that much about these other teams. Do you have any message for any of the teams? Do you have any teams you're really excited to play against? Or anything you want to say to the first inaugural stream of the Manitoba Esports League?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at the other teams, to be completely honest with you.
There you go.
There's lots of time in between games, right? So
yeah.
You heard it here first. The other teams don't exist.
Yeah, the other teams don't matter. It
doesn't matter. Yeah, he'll beat anyone you put in front of him. It's fine.
I believe if you look at the standings, we're first place, right? That's all I'm saying.
TSS looking to keep that win streak going.
100% win rate.
That is Wheelie29. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been. I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna be doing next, but that is the series. TSS takes it 2-0, a really strong performance from them. I love how this first game is shaped up.
Oh yeah,
it was like Stefano, you were saying, like, this is honestly higher level play than we expected. Not, I don't mean that in any sort of flaming way or anything. I'm impressed with the way these guys rotated around the map, with the way they played their lanes, with the way they communicated with each other. I'm excited to see how this amateur league develops.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy good for what level. When you think of, like, silver, gold, you think of like the majority of the league community, and like that's not a good thought. Like you don't respect that. But that was respectable play by both teams. Team Soul Simp, obviously very clean on the rotations, very strong mechanically, but even Dragon Solar Bust had its moments of really strong play. They were able to recognize what their win condition is through the first game, and they went for it. It didn't end up working out, but just because it doesn't end up working out doesn't mean it wasn't the right play. Both teams showed a very high level of confidence for what we were expecting.
Yeah, exactly. And we got 10 weeks here. I mean, you're right. TSS looked dominant today, but there's 10 weeks for these guys to get to know each other. That's what's going to be really exciting to me about these teams, is that they are going to be playing just each other. There's 5 different teams. Only one of them gets eliminated, and then they continue on to playoffs. So those 4 teams will be playing each other for weeks and weeks. They're going to be able to, there's going to be a whole individual metagame developing just for this league. And I'm really excited to see what it is.
And honestly, to go off of that, we definitely saw way more advanced play than we expected, but it just goes to show when it comes to competitive play, honestly, ranks don't really matter too much.
Yeah.
As long as your team can play together well and play the macro, you can do amazing things. Like, you'll see players in silver and gold with amazing mechanics, but the reason why they're still in silver and gold is things like game knowledge, and they don't understand macro. But when you take that player and you surround them around a coherent team that can coordinate and make plays properly, they can shine just as much as a plat, a diamond, even above.
There you go. That is an awesome thought, because it means the level of getting higher if we're valuing, I think, team play over individual play in these leagues. Mm-hmm. That's just such an exciting prospect for me. And this amateur league, we could see some play that's close to the high level of that Premier League, which is so cool. So
that's great. So let's get the conversation shifted to the future now. So tomorrow we have a big Premier League match going on.
Oh yeah,
a big grudge match.
Baby.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's gonna be super exciting. I'm just gonna put that out there. We got
yeah, man. So we got Votertron versus Kimchi Boys. And just to give you an idea, the average rank, the average solo queue rank in this match has to be somewhere in high diamond or above, because there's like 3 challenger players, there's a grandmaster player, there's high diamond players. It is a high mechanical play match, and these 2 teams are who we're looking at. If we were to predict which teams, just based on the players, are going to be at the top of the standings, these 2 teams are the ones. And so that's going to be a really exciting match. I mentioned before, I have a little bit of tea to share, which I've learned from various people, including Dinzy himself, who's here with us. I think we're going to hold off on that until tomorrow. So any of you who are wondering what I've got to reveal, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow at 6:30. But let's just say, they're coming for you, Yunbi. So yeah. And we've got really exciting players here who've played on academy teams in the LCS, who've gone to Worlds, who have been high ranked in Challenger, and it's going to be amazing to see.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see the Premier League actually worse than the amateur league.
Yeah, exactly. Dinzy, how are you feeling about the match tomorrow? Without giving too much away, you feeling confident?
Well, to be honest, it is going to be a hard match, I think. Yeah. I can't confidently say one of the teams is going to win. It's going to be a tough one for sure.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
That's all I can say. For now. Well, all right. So I think that about wraps up the stream for today. This is a great match that we had.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for watching.
Anyone else have anything else to say?
I would like to say that even though it was a 2-0 sweep against Dragon Solar Bust, I say they had a little bit more life than Team Liquid did.
Oh, dang. I mean,
Uh-oh.
not a high bar though. Like to be honest. But...
Yeah.
Dragon Solar Bust has a much better chance of making playoffs than Team Liquid this split.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah,
say that.
for sure.
Infinitely better.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been an amazing game. Like we said, ManitobaEsports.com and the Discord and everything to give us any feedback you might have about this stream. Let us know how we did. Let us know how much you love us. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in.
No, be back tomorrow, and we're excited to see you all there.
Yeah.